Okay. The crystal form and flow. Crystal Betharian form and flow. Liquid light consciousness. Eternal state of spiritual being. Liquid light. Breathing liquid light. The visuals, the slide projection, the auroras, slider glide programs is a different optical visual projection. And I'm sharing this as it relates to mathematical codes, the frequency, the crystal sound of first light, the eternal core, the eternal life force field of crystal sound and light, the echoes of rainbows, the first form and flow of crystal radiation, mathematics, the encryption of elemental union, breathing the core, 90 on the vertical, 90 on the horizontal. And so it's not a coincidence that I listened to a very short, it was right at 220, when a voice that I heard that's labeled as 107, right, like 007, like British Secret Services, MI6, in the Turing test, as in muscle test, the form and flow of radiation. Consciousness directed radiation, the mathematical radiation, breathing the eternal still point of balance, a four-way hub, a rainbow. And so as a visual, correcting the optic nerve, the lymphatic breathing system, our lymphatic breathing system, as neurons, chemical messengers, the transmission fluid, hydraulic lift capacity to experience the eternal capacity of operating a vacuum gauge, the meter, the usage rate. And that's why the function of the first electron donor is to give it all away, to experience no power. No polarity. 0 degrees. Absolute zero. The zero field, the first eternal field. Breathing right on time. In divine right sequence. The sequence of the experience. Experiencing perfect balance. The crystal rainbow, the inner crystal heart, the inner crystal rainbow. Aurora. Yeah. So yes, Juan, the optics are different. The torque speed differential is the offset between a 6 and a 9, which is what? 3. The brilliance of a triangle, the golden triangle, the silver and gold mated Richet. Breathing in divine right order. The order sequence is the breathing order, which is to correct the order of a mathematical frequency of that sequence. Is restoring the breathing order, which is the lymphatic system that is no longer held captive. And how that relates to programming the pleasure center, duplicate frequencies, and the manipulation of hormone secretions as that relates to accretion speed, the absorption factor, the speed factor, the speed function of a shield, the aurora shield, the rainbow shield, the tribal shield, breathing right on time, 21%, chromosome 21, 21% oxygen, water worlds, the eternal living waters, the healing temples, the Krystal Aquifers, Aquel codes, water code, the first eternal water code, the plasma flow of water. And so when the visual changes, the reality changes. From artificial trees to the real tree. The core, the crystal core. Breathing the crystal cathedral. Crystal Sophia. Breathing with the eternal sun. Eternal star born. That's why we're here. As a security function. Boy, it's pushing my asthma. Whenever I communicate the absolute truth, which is absolute zero. And I revisited a video that was on Divine Born Angel. And for those that have not seen it, I am intimately familiar. And that presentation I thought was a very good mathematical presentation of the maps and the description of what a fall is. A fall is a fall in what? Electrical power. That's the genius in giving it all away. To experience no power, no sound, no pressure. Wow, light as light can be. Our light spirit body, our creative crystal body, restoring our crystal creative body. The first C, the first camera eye, the first seed, the first atom, eternal seed atom is pure. The purest seed is pure eternal fire. The fire rituals, the fire people, the holy people. I watched a beautiful story of a native Indian, a Lakota, telling us a story about the fire people. What happened in Colorado, if you go back and look at history, when he referred to non-native oneness. Wherever love is, I am. So Imanu Aya was telling a story about what happened in Colorado, fire in Colorado, where some lives were lost the loss and gain of electrical life force power. So now those programs, the batteries that is represented by those beings as radiation, that form and flow of those radiation beings are no longer in the same field, are they? Killing numbers to generate another artificial number into the victim-victimizer game. That's why we're here. So for those that have not seen the visual display of the story of the fall and why we're here now, as opposed to 1,000,000 years ago or 40,000 years ago, pick a date. Why now? And so that is beautifully described and explained, actually the simplicity of it, as it relates to what? Polarity. Polarity issues are issues about balance and honor. Honoring the highest code, the Sophia code, the eternal code, the water code, the fire maps, the fire echoes, the source code, the eternal source code, the stealth code, encryption. Those technologies cannot hack the first atom. That's why we're here. to restore atom, atmospheric pressure, the crystal core. Breathing in divine right order, divine right timing, and divine right balance. Breathing in balance across the entire spectrum. Now I'm experiencing what I am and not experiencing what it is. Right? 6 and 9. And so that's why I cried for 4 days. So for those that have not seen that particular video, I shared it with a few other people, and I thought it was a very good description of how the victim-victimizer game works, operates, as what led to the quarantine, because it's vampiric. It needs a primal sound and light field to feed on. Right? Breatharian form and flow. We're not consuming the electron of another electrical unit of self-aware energy, ever. And that causes a reduction in temperature in us, which is the loss of electrical speed. And that becomes what? A fall in metabolism. Now the shield strength is lowered. And then that becomes what? A risk factor. A mathematical risk factor. If you eliminate all risk, what are you left with? No power. That's the gift of giving it all away. That's the wisdom of Sophia, is to give all our power away to experience no power. Now you're giving away power, voltage, at the highest rate of speed. So we're never holding on to one electron, never holding on to a unit of energy to be used as a source of power to run a victim-victimizer game. Ending the game once and for all time. The end of history. Aya, 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 aya. Mueva aya. Equally sharing what I am, which is what love is, with all creation. To experience the crystal core. The crystal starborn. The eternal starborn. Restoring balance. That's why I'm here. Aya, aya. Kira she aya. Kundere.